I'm here today at the Harvest Cup, my friend Gerald. What's your favorite part about the Harvest Cup?
All the people.
The people, the
All
locals.
the people. Yep, locals. All the growers.
All the growers,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, it's like a holiday party.
Yep. I agree.
I guess the holiday would be October.
October. Yep.
Or Croptober.
Yep.
MCR Lab has been doing a lot of analysis over the past years. How many people come to MCR Labs? I would say people. How many entities come to MCR Labs over the course of a week?
I mean, we get hundreds of clients on a weekly basis. So
Yeah.
that's between, dispensaries, cultivators, home growers, all those folks.
I'm assuming it's tricky having cannabis is not federally legal in a facility that you work in.
I guess so. I think the biggest detriment for us with that is that we can't accept any samples by mail. So everyone has to physically come to our facility to drop off their samples.
Are you looking at opening other locations?
We have another one opening up very soon in Gardner, Maine that we're very excited for.
Okay, yeah, Maine has a great scene.
They do.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. You're a huge asset to the entire community.
Awesome. We love to hear it.
I've never seen so much weed at the DCU Center. It's pretty amazing. We're here with Excelsior Extracts, who I'm familiar with from the Danny Danko Grow Bud Yourself. He talks about your brand all the time. Now, what are you guys doing here today?
We grow it all, we do it all indoor, organic, and then we go ahead and infuse products and make topicals, edibles. We got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Now, where do you guys have your growing happening? Is it somewhere in Maine or is it Massachusetts?
No, we're Massachusetts based.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been growing since 2000, 2011. We ran into some trouble with the law.
Yeah.
And that wasn't wrapped up till like 2017. So we were out of Massachusetts for a number of years.
The number of folks who are now getting relief from it and not having to use pharmaceuticals is really shedding a light on the schedule and how inappropriate it is to say that cannabis has no medicinal purpose or that it's wildly addictive.
There's no stopping it now. It's only a matter of time. I imagine that the big businesses are just letting us set the groundwork, and that it's already planned to go legal.
Okay, here at the Harvest Cup with the company ROVE, and they're putting out some of my favorite strains as a terpene fusion for everybody. So you guys, your brand doesn't discriminate. I like that about you. But you know what does discriminate is Massachusetts. They were discriminating against people who were in the vape business. They out of nowhere in 2019 they made them like all legal. So the people in the vape industry in 2019 really had a hard time. Then eventually they came out and said all the legal vapes were fine. It was the illegal vapes that maybe had the vitamin E oil, I think was what the problem was. Now it's a little bit different. They had passed a law, I know in Massachusetts, about vaping for nicotine. And if you're going to have a nicotine vape product, you had to have like a identification for it. And if you didn't have the identification, it becomes wildly illegal. And that same policy applies now to vape pens that aren't purchased with an identifying like barcode from a dispensary. So if you now have a cannabis vape that's outside of the law, that didn't come from a dispensary with an associated product tag, that now is actually treated like a tobacco product that's unlicensed, and now you can go to jail.
I've obviously heard about some of the vitamin E and like things that, I've gotten into the vapes that, but I mean, you try to stay as compliant as possible.
Sure.
And you never know what they're going to throw at you from like a law perspective, so just try to stay above the curve.
Yeah, one thing that people were concerned about initially with the vapes was that at one point some of them were leaching heavy metals and potentially into them, and so then they went to a ceramic model.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, specifically with ROVE, we do our own manufacturing, so it's just, you're just getting flavorful, full botanics, all cannabis, total cannabis terpenes.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. And vapes are great. They've really made it accessible for a lot of people who have jobs and kids to medicate. And all use medicinal.
Yeah.
So let's not get it twisted. I know you do a lot of CBD.
Yes, so I source my CBD from a company called High Purity Naturals, and then once the CBD is in my product, I also lab test the finished product at MCR Labs.
Now, are you utilizing other medicinal herbs?
Yes, yes. So lavender is wonderful for a lot of different things, from headaches, muscle aches and pains. Eucalyptus and peppermint is also good for that.
I've experimented with putting eucalyptus sprigs in a bomb.
Yeah.
But not. I guess if you smoke eucalyptus, it's really bad. You can get seizures. But if you breathe it, it's okay. And so I was sticking the bong tube, and I can take twice as big of a bong hit if I stick a eucalyptus sprig in the bong.
Because it opens up your alveoli in your chest.
That's right.
Yeah, it's wonderful for that.
Yeah, okay, we're here back at the Harvest Cup with our friends from sungrownkit.com. They have free seeds in the kit. I think free seeds is a wonderful thing.
Oh, good. Yeah. It makes it easy for people.
Yeah. Seeds are amazing because the seed has all the energy that's required to produce a tiny little plant.
It's all here.
So you get this kit and you can go home and start growing some cannabis.
Exactly.
Okay, you got a lady tire, and then you got widow. Is that like a white widow or something?
Yep.
Yep. And then we have erotica.
There you go.
What's that about?
I don't know.
Is that like Alaskan Thunder F?
Yeah.
Maybe. Here at the Harvest Cup with our friends from MOHAWK Glass, you have a lot of really nice glass pieces here. So how long have you been at it for?
Going on 10 years now.
My favorite things about your pieces is this stuff. That bottom stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what is your motivation for these pieces?
I just like to make something that's functional yet pretty and can be affordable for most people. I don't like to make anything too extravagant that's like crazy expensive. I just like to make, your everyday, normal functioning pipes.
Now, I noticed you have not only bongs, you have some pretty cool materials. There's some minerals.
Oh yeah,
is that quartz?
This is a quartz with a tourmaline in it. I actually picked this up today and just putting it on the table for that good energy.
Blingini beads, probably one of the most well-known art pieces in the cannabis scene.
2018 was the first year that I entered the outdoor contest, and I put one of my necklaces for the contest. Yeah, these are the trophies, right? The trophies were the grand prize for the outdoor contest. It was my first year at the Harvest Cup, and I ended up winning it back.
Oh wow!
Everybody's like,
rigged.
There was quite a few stipulations. So the next 3 years after that, I haven't entered, and I've given away 3 different sets at each show.
Oh wow! What gave you the initial idea for the bead sets?
I wanted to wear one when I was like 16, and I didn't realize that the whole rest of the world would be interested in having one.
I love the Harvest Cup so much as people like Dr. MARION McNABB come and they talk about the amazing work they're doing, looking at how cannabis is being used here in the state. And the other thing about Dr. McNABB is she always likes weed a lot. Because look at these cool weed things she makes. Like, you don't make this stuff if you don't smoke weed. All right, Dr. McNABB, nice to see you today. What brings you today to the Harvest Cup?
Hey, I am the president of the Cannabis Center of Excellence, so a nonprofit organization that works on cannabis research and education and social justice.
Why do people consume medical cannabis?
Most recently, we were seeing an increase in anxiety and people reporting anxiety and PTSD and then chronic pain. But 4 years ago, the primary reason that people were consuming was chronic pain. But we see now with COVID and with increase in the opioid epidemic, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of new health conditions. So we're seeing those trends where people are finding relief from a psychological and a physical standpoint.
One thing that has been said by just people randomly, anecdotally, whatever, is that people who smoke cannabis seem to be less likely to be affected by the symptoms of COVID. I'm just saying, if you have COVID and you smoke weed, you may not know it. It seems like that's the case. You would see it from people who weren't talking to each other and say, oh, I'm not getting, everyone's around me sick and I smoke weed and I'm fine.
It's interesting that you say it. So I launched a COVID-19 and cannabis consumer study right when COVID hit. Here I hosted an online event that brought 6 different researchers together to talk about the findings that they were seeing related to cannabis as a prevention or as a mitigation at end stage, right when you're having acute respiratory distress syndrome. There are certain cannabinoid combinations that can reduce your hyperimmune system in that stage, but you have to be thinking about that carefully because you don't want to modulate it too much. So there's more research and data that needs to happen, and a lot of those findings were from preclinical work. It's compelling.
And Chunky's Glass here at the Harvest Cup. Now, do you make this glass yourself?
I don't. So what we have here is local glass blowers and glass blowers from across the country who support us, and we support them. We're getting their art out because it's beautiful. It needs to be shown as I break a piece almost. We have New Jersey, Oregon, Massachusetts, California, South Dakota, a bunch of different glass blowers.
There's another raffle going on, the City Slicker Genetics.
Oh, that's a good one, though.
City Slicker,
yeah. City Slicker.
Like Joe winning kit.
Yeah!
2 packs of City Slicker Genetics.
I think I heard along the grapevine that you're going to Maine. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, so we just saw property up there, up in Harrison. The idea is to create a cultivation facility up there and create craft cannabis and craft edibles. This is to open the door for the black market or the gray market, however you want to put it, and create jobs for people who really want to join the cannabis industry. Obviously, we want to get into a dispensary. The idea is to create a business that will sustain itself so that we can focus on helping other people. Yeah, we created the free FICO campaign that we're doing right now. No cancer patient should ever have to pay for FICO.
It's a campaign that we're not going to stop. So
no, we're going to continue to create FICO as much as possible for as long as
we have the material.
How are folks able to contact you about that program?
Well, if you hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, we'll get you on the list right now. It's been pretty popular. So there are a lot of people looking for FICO right now. So we're trying to get them on a list and get them in touch with the medicine as quickly as possible.
Hey, thanks for taking us out to talk to us. Golden Remedies Edibles.
Thank you.
Here in about 7 minutes, and it's going to take place here at the Harvest Cup booth.
Up today with Joe Nelson. Joe has a local cannabis business. Joe, you do some kind of amazing dining program. What is it?
I run Mass Cannabis Chefs with my partner Pat. We before COVID, we put on a fine dining dinner series where we met twice a month with different styles of food at every event all over Massachusetts. We ran that for about 3.5 years up until COVID, and currently just doing private events. But yeah, fine dining, cannabis, lots of fun.
Now, cannabis is probably the healthiest, most nutritious plant known to man. It has fiber, carbohydrate, the only source of omega outside of the ocean. You can utilize it in a number of ways, obviously as an enhancer, but you can also take the seed and turn it into oil or flour, and you could also incorporate even the fan leaves into a flour.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of flavor tucked away in there.
I would agree with you 100%.
Do you guys utilize the plant in that way?
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite recipes that I make is a cannabis leaf pesto, where we use fan leaves and basil instead of just basil and whatever else you choose to use. A lot of people use parsley or arugula, things of that nature. But I use fan leaves and basil in my arugula and my pesto, and it's one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat. I've used sprouted hemp seeds and sprouted cannabis seeds for edible purposes in raw vegan events that we've done previously. We did a whole thing with a sprouted seed and salad. It was delicious.
That's awesome. Good luck, man. We hope you do really well with your business.
Thank you so much.
Gardens by Gil. How long have you been doing this for?
A couple years now, about 2 or so, where I've been in the public eye, trying to show people what I've been doing. As far as growing as a hobbyist, I've been doing it from before I can remember. When you purchase a seed pack, you get my business card that has my direct phone number on there, and you can call me with any questions. I do demos to show people how to grow. If you live close enough, I can come and do some in-house consultations.
Do people call you with zero experience and equipment, and then you get them going with some experience and equipment?
Definitely. So I'm able to provide people with lights, where I'm able to provide people a discount on their tents. So I usually give people a rundown on exactly what to use as far as nutrients, usually for first-time growers. pH is a huge issue, and believe it or not, sometimes you have to go back to basics. I'll have people that have been growing for quite some time that will reach out to me and ask me questions. Same as me, I'll reach out to certain people and ask them questions. Blizzy Buds, he's another vendor around here. He grows my cherry berry out. I reach out to him once a week and ask him a different question. Vice versa, he reaches out to me and asks me different questions, because we're all students of the plants.
All right, so excited to be here at Harvest Cup with our friends from Berry Treasures. Berry Treasures is probably one of my favorite head shops of all time. Classic Boston spot. You guys started off, it was very difficult, it was very risky. You couldn't say the word bong, you had to say tobacco pipe. It was on the side of the door. You had to have your ID out. You weren't accepting the IDs from on Commonwealth Ave, whatever that place is called. So, what's been the biggest challenge of moving to this new realm where it's sort of okay, probably oversaturated, I would assume?
35 years to be in this business.
being harassed by the government, being harassed by the local police, being harassed by the fucking local news media. It's been insane. Now it's like no big deal. We're just struggling, you know. Now we got to compete with people who got so much cash they don't know what to do with it, except open up a store like a convenience store or a gas station. You go to a gas station, it says gas station smoke shop, gas station smoke shop, convenience store selling everything. Got, oh, what do you want? You want a bong? We got bong. You go bong. Oh, wait a minute, we can say bong.
Are you guys online now?
Yes, we are. Thank goodness.
Is that doing better for you than the brick and mortar?
It's you know, easy to get online. Yeah. But you got market. You got to be totally into it. And my daughter and my son, they've been like trying to, you know, hammer it in, and it's starting to pay off.
Needle in a haystack.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm very excited to be here at the Harvest Cup with the winner, Mary Palmer. What did you guys win on this time?
The 911 sale for the THC topicals.
You guys keep winning. I still want pickles. You guys did
pickles. We discontinued the pickles.
Oh my goodness, I know. My dog loves the best buds. Those are amazing. The gum, I love the gum. You guys have amazing hats and sweatshirts.
Thank you.
So I'm really happy to see what you guys are doing. And we're here now with it's Joe.
Joe, you got it.
And he makes amazing art. And how hard is it to maintain the level of quality in your products and be on the road doing these events?
That's a good question, because it's hard to find the time to do both the events and, you know, to keep your quality up and make sure you're pumping out good products. Both of us.
Yeah, I think just having a deadline sometimes is like...
It makes it happen. Because without the shows, I was so less productive. You know, I knew that I didn't have to get things ready, and I didn't have money out for the team. And I didn't have to get ready for it, you know, so it kept me busy.
I have your audio recording. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
How'd you get into squashing?
Well, I've been a judge of high times and a lot of other events all over the world, and I realized, you know, when the people that enter it, they don't know how they did until the very end, and they just know what they won. They don't know why they won or why they lost. And consumers, same thing. They don't know why that product is number one or why it lost. Well, this, I created it where the consumer gets to understand a little bit more about what goes on behind judging and everything. And the people that enter it, the competitors, they all get to know their numbers, but they can't walk up to the judges' table. But they can sit there and listen to their numbers and hear the judges critique it. I asked my judges, which all of them have 10 to 20 years experience, tell them to be honest, but not too brutally honest, do it in a diplomatically way, so you don't hurt their feelings, especially if it's bad, to give it. But yeah, I make sure my judges are critical, which they did. They could tell when people held it and trimmed it, instead of holding it by the stem and trimming it. And I think live rosin, making it this way, is the naturalest, most cleanest way to make your extract, especially in rosin, flour, and stuff. There's this heat and pressure, no chemicals, and just let the goodness come out. This is our 34th one we've done since 2017. Yeah. And we've done them in Amsterdam, we've done them in Jamaica, we've done them in Mexico, and we've done them all over the U.S. My good friend Custom 420 Promos, which is our sponsor. Oh yeah? Yeah, he made up all our tablecloths, all our banners and stuff. He does a great job making us look good and professional.
Yeah, you guys look great. It's a very fun part of all the events I've seen you at.
Well, thank you. I know a lot of people like it. We had a good crowd.
Can I ask you to sign my bong?
Over the shoulder boulder holder. It looked like you smoke out of that on Tuesday and drink out of it on Wednesday.
That's true. Just
like a little wine bottle, right?
It's very versatile, much like Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Witty, unpredictable,
talent, natural game.
With my homie Drew from Virginia. Now, Virginia is a great place for cannabis. They recently are looking at legalizing cannabis. They don't have a program yet, but they have decriminalized it, and they're really looking at it as an opportunity to address the wrongs done by the war on drugs. But Virginia, when I was there in the 90s, it was cannabis, and everybody called it a lobster. You ever smoke any lobster out in Virginia?
Yeah, man, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and mid-2000s, it was called the lob. Like, it was just like some weed that had some orange hairs on it called the lob.
Is it hard to get weed now over there?
No, man, it's everywhere now, man. Everybody's got it. If it doesn't have it, like, you just look at your neighbor's got it for sure.
Washington, D.C. has a significant gray market, and I know there was a guy whose dog would paint paintings, and you buy the painting from the dog and then get an ounce. Have you ever participated in the gray market in Washington, D.C.?
Never heard of that, but I would definitely participate. Had I heard of that, I'd definitely be definitely partake in such. That sounds pretty cool.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me here at the Serendipitous Highs booth. They have lots of amazing things for sale here. It's all made of cannabis, all of it, all of it.
About 10 minutes, we'll be signing copies of If You Give a Bear a Bomb.